y'all to the first episode, you know what I'm saying, first edition of Black Magic Live. I'm your host. It's me, Black Magic, you know what I'm saying, live in the flesh. Damien's Black Magic, for those who don't know, but you call me Black Magic, Magic for short, baby, boo, my nigga, what's happening, cuz, anything, you know what I mean? Just don't call me collect. But yeah, this show is dedicated to, you know, it's a little off the mark from what you're used to seeing with Rockstarlyfe and these zaggins. I really just, you know, talk about the things that may have been hitting the news that you might not have known about, from celebrities to sports to, you know, whatever. You know, this is 420 week. Yeah. As you say, it's 420 week. Smoking on some Skywalker OG oil, you know what I mean? But we're gonna talk about what's really been going on, and you know, some things you might not have known about, man. Just a lighter side. Still me, still in my zone, still doing my thing, still say it my way. You know what I mean? So let's get into this. Let's see where we're at right now. What's important in the news now. Some good news that people might not really know about is Kendrick Lamar. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? He is the first rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize. First rapper ever. That's a big feat. You know what I'm saying? That's a real big feat to be a rapper. That if you really think about it, he just really got on the scene. He hadn't really solidified himself yet. You see what I'm saying? So for him to get on the scene and win a Pulitzer, and he won it for the album Damn. Now, when I read that, that was kind of interesting to me because I like that album. I like the album Damn. I really think that he tapped into the street mentality of Kendrick. I think he got out of the more artistic side of the music and got into the more street savvy type of situation. A lot more 808 beats and a lot more aggressive songs. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was a dope album. I really did like Damn. My elemental song, but I did like that album Damn. I kind of think To Pimp a Butterfly would have been the one, but for him to win a Pulitzer Prize, and they're saying that with the album it captured the complexity of modern African American life. So did To Pimp a Butterfly and Mad City as well. But I mean, I will say, you know, it's still a big feat. I ain't no hater, man. I am saluting you, 21 shot salute to you, bro, for that one, because that's a major feat, man, to win a Pulitzer Prize for your album, and it won a Grammy. I mean, now, here's the funny part. That's why I love my show right here. That's why I love Black Magic Live, because it tells you some things, some inside notes that you might not have known. He was up against a ventriloquist and a string quartet. Do the math on that. So that was his competition, man. So, you know, but shout out to Kendrick Lamar for that, man. That is a big feat. That is real dope. I salute you for that, man, and keep pushing, man. You giving everybody, including me, people who do music, period. You giving us a little more hope to show that we are expanding. You know, we're taking over categories that you never thought could be taken over just with this rap music. You know what I'm saying? It's come a long way from Cool Herc. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Kendrick Lamar on that. Real talk. Hats off to him. Let's see. What else we can talk about. Let's see. Talk about her. Cardi B. Coachella. Here's something people didn't know about her. She did two. She's doing one weekend at Coachella, and then this coming weekend. She did last weekend, and then the one coming up. So it's 2 shows. It's costing her $300,000 per performance. That's $600,000 for the stage set. Because Coachella was like, yo, we not paying for it, Cardi. I'm sorry, we're not paying for your stage set. So she had to come out of her own pocket. $300,000 stage set. She's doing 2 shows. Now, here's some interesting math facts for that ass. Okay, she's only getting paid $70,000 per show. $70,000 per show is all she's getting, but she's paying $600,000. But they're saying that the set is a beast. They're saying that her stage, the setup is a beast. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and mind you, they booked her last year. Okay, so she wasn't a #1 person on the charts. Them contracts were already signed. You just have to stick to whatever that contract said. So, you know, shout out to Cardi B for what she's doing, man. I mean, I congratulate you on that, because you had sold over 220,000 copies of your CD in a week. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big feat for a female rapper to pull that off. And you know, #1 album in the country. You just released to everybody you're pregnant, about to have your baby. You got $600,000 stage sets and shit. Like, you know what I mean? You can't hate on her. Let her do what she do, man. I'm pretty sure that little $600,000 was a drop in the bucket. Now, she did say that, you know, she was a little taken aback by that price. And that she had to be going, she didn't like the idea of having to go to Wells Fargo and write checks for $300,000 every time she performed. She thought that was a little crazy. She'll get that back though. So shout out to Cardi B with that, with Coachella. I do know about Beyonce and bringing out Destiny's Child and Jay-Z. She did a crazy performance. That was a crazy performance. We might be able to show it, I don't know, but we're gonna see. But
I've been drinking. I've been drinking. I've been drinking whatever you give to me. I've been drinking. Can you keep my fingers off the baby? I want. Riding with my surfboard. Raining on the wood, raining on the wood. I'm swerving on this, swerving on this big body.
Beyonce ain't playing with y'all now. I'm like, Beyonce not playing. I've always said she is our generation's Diana Ross. She is the fucking boss, okay? You just don't get no better than her. You know what I'm saying? To me, I love Rihanna, okay? That's my wife, Okay, I love her, but Beyonce's a Virgo, B Nation, and she's just the best performer, entertainer, female-wise in the world. I mean, I'm sorry, she's just the best. Nobody. It's a lot of great singers out here. It's a lot of great performers out here, but they ain't doing the Beyonce. You know what I mean? He is not doing Beyonce. Beyonce gets in 10-inch stilettos with her hair flying and her dances all intact like it's a Rhythm Nation video, and then she performs like it's effortlessly. Like you don't hear her have to really pause and nothing. She sounds damn near like her album, especially when she slows down to sing a slow song. Oh man. I've seen Beyonce perform once. That voice, bruh, it's amazing. So shout out to Coachella. Shout out to Cardi B doing her thing with her elaborate set. Shout out to Beyonce for her dope ass performance. Everybody now wants to join the what is it, BAK fraternity for Beyonce. Yeah, I mean, so Bayhive is always strong. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Cardi gonna call her people. The Cardigans. I don't know, but Cartiers. I don't know. But shout out to her. On a side note of that, we were talking about on the Rockstarlyfe show last Saturday, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. And I guess for respect purposes, we'll throw in Lil' Kim. But we were speaking about the comparisons of those three. Sound like I'm taking ass with that. I'm good. Woo. Skywalker OG. Shit. If you haven't graduated from your papers and your blunts, you don't know what you're missing, man. You might want to get your hands on a pair of these. You know what I mean? It's really worth it. It's really worth it. It's pure THC oil. So this ain't like hitting no blunt with no flowers in it. This is killer. But just like all my shows, Black Magic Live is no different. Shout out to Leaks Entertainment for bringing this to life. But Black Magic Live is no different than Rockstarlyfe or These Zaggers Do America, because it's not. There's nothing wrong with a little imperfection. You know what I'm saying? And this is just live, raw, direct, one-on-one talk with me and things that's going on in the industry and, things of that nature. So, but we were talking about Cardi B, Lil' Kim, and Nicki Minaj. And all of us had some points. O'Shawn has some points. VA Fresh has some points. I personally feel Lil' Kim came from an era where you could look sexy, you could look like a stripper, but your rhymes were gangster. I think that's where Cardi B and Lil' Kim pretty much have a neck and neck, or I can see where Cardi B took that page from Lil' Kim as getting to the hardcore, but it's not as hardcore. Name one of those girls was hardcore as Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim did it from hardcore to La Bella Mafia. Now, B.A. Fresh was saying that she wasn't singing, but she did, and she was doing a little singing. She really went there with La Bella Mafia. With the no matter what people say, we got it going on. Like, she was trying to play around with the singing. That I came back for you. All those hooks were Lil' Kim singing. So all three of them are doing the same format. A little, yeah. I will say, okay, Nicki took a little bit out of Kim's book, yeah. And then when she redid the hardcore picture, I was like, come on, get more original. But, you know, I've always thought Nicki was a beautiful girl. I always did. I liked her swag. I liked the oddballness of her. That was so attractive to me. Like, you know what I mean? That attracts me. Oddball, when you have the confidence. And she was a backpack rapper without, you know, back in the day, and then she upgraded. I mean, you know, people upgrade. That's what happens, man. But as far as Cardi B and Nicki Minaj goes, I think Cardi took a big chunk out of Nicki Minaj's book. I think while Nicki was being distracted by the Remy Ma controversy between her and her and Remy, because if you notice, every song that she did from 2 Chainz's album, everybody's album, anytime she got on that microphone, she tried to come for Remy. It was like all the forgotten verses that she should have put on the No Frost song. Those verses that Lil Wayne and Drake did, which were good, dope verses, but not needed for that type of situation. She could have put those other verses on that song and really gave Remy a war. There was never a war. It was just Remy came through, knocked the fuck up out of Nicki. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of disappointed me with that. But she's still a fierce MC. She dropped Chung Lee, and she dropped, what was the other one? I forget the name of it. But she did drop 2 songs. And I like Chung Lee. Chung Lee goes in, you know. It does go in. It's just Cardi's time. Nicki, I think, kind of, not that Nicki's ever going to fall off. Nicki's going to be around for a long time. She is still the, like I said, she is the Beyonce. She is the she's the boss bitch. She is. You know what I'm saying? Cardi got one good album out right now. You know, you seen her, and now she's pregnant. So you know how that goes sometimes. They can just plummet right into the ground after that happens. So we got to see how she follows through. She's got to have a better track record than Nicki for me to say anything. But congrats to all those sisters out there that's doing their fucking thing. Period. No matter what you doing with your body and stuff when your money get here. I can't tell you what to do with your money. I wish you wouldn't do it, but I can't tell you what to do. But congrats to you black women doing what you need to do, getting on your grind, got your team behind you, everything is coming into play. All of y'all are legendary or will be legendary within your own rights. The female rap circle is a very small rap circle. So for y'all three are like Mount Rushmore of rappers. I mean, you got to add your Queen Latifahs and stuff, but you know, I'm just saying, y'all are up there. Y'all are up there, so salute. Salute to y'all, man. I know we got sidetracked. We started talking about Coachella and weed came into play, and it's just all type of shit, man. Now, some other interesting things that's gonna happen. Snoop Dogg. Shout out to Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg did the impossible. Snoop did a album. He has had gangster album. He has had a reggae album, and now he has a gospel album. And the gospel album was the number one gospel album in the country when he released the album. This has happened like 2 weeks ago. So shout out to Snoop. Snoop's doing it. He's doing it big. He has a new movie coming out. What was the name of that movie? It's gonna come to me. It's with the puppets. It's not Starship Troopers. It was another, but it had the hand puppets with the strings. Yeah. So it's that type of movie, but here's the twist. It's for Star Trek. You heard this right. Beam me up, Scotty. Star Trek. So Snoop is doing a puppet movie based on Star Trek. It's gonna be like a comedic satire, if you will, of Star Trek, and it's actually got a lot of people from the Star Treks in the movie. So what we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna bless y'all, man. I'm gonna let y'all watch this trailer, because I can't make this up, of Snoop Dogg in Star Trek.
In a world where the world is searching the world for someone to save the world, there is only one in the whole world that has this world on a string.
Okay, Charlie, I'm in. What now?
Soon I will take over their planet with my army of plants.
They are the first wave of a massive invasion force headed for this planet at this very moment.
This is a national emergency.
Mr. President, I've got to ask on the phone.
Well, then spray something on the damn thing.
Where did all the people go?
What the hell is happening to us?
I know what'll happen if something goes wrong up there. It'll be the end of the program.
I thought we had 80 more minutes. Oh, that program.
Don't flush till we're over the ocean.
Whoa! 50 years later and he's still pissed. Oh!
Captain Snorts, release the hounds on his cray-cray ass.
So yeah, as you see, Snoop's not playing. Snoop is elevating in every way, and that's why I like him. He stays relevant, he stays current, he reinvents. He don't become complacent in what he's doing. He evolves. He sits there for a minute, he kills that game, he goes somewhere else, he evolves. And he goes to the impossibles. So shout out to Snoop Dogg. Shout out to the whole West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the LBC. You know what I mean? Just shout out to the West Coast, period. But Snoop, salute to you. You're doing it big, man. Now, got some interesting news to speak of. This one's going to be a doozy. This is really going to be a doozy. So, R. Kelly. Oh, R. Kelly. I tell you what, R. Kelly is becoming a legend for every reason besides the reason he's supposed to be a fucking legend. They usually have coined the phrase that the biggest geniuses are the most craziest people. But this is a little past crazy. This is pretty much on a sadistic tip. You get me? You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of sadistic. So it's a new lady who's come to play on the R. Kelly scheme of things. A 20-year-old, and she says that that R. Kelly infected her with an STD when she was 19. This was last year. She was 19 in 2017. This is 2018. She's 20 now. So she's saying that last year, okay? So she was saying that he would hold her down. He would stuff her with a whole bunch of drugs, alcohol, and then he was like, they were saying that he was grooming her for the sex cult that he has, that he's been allegedly said that he has as a sex cult. If you haven't really been up on the R. Kelly stuff, it's been scores of women. 2 or 3 have escaped. The other ones, I guess, are still there or whatever. But they're saying that he's running a sex cult. Where, like this young lady is saying, he induces them with a lot of drugs, alcohol, and then he indoctrinates them with his ideology of whatever this cult is. Kelly cult. I don't know. I have no idea. And I did a skit that I premiered Saturday on the Rockstarlyfe show with behind the music, with the Rudy Poo and Trick. And they, you know, the guy Rudy Poo got with R. Kelly, and him made a song, and R. Kelly double-crossed Rudy Poo out and went to the producer that Rudy Poo was having a beef with. It was a crazy skit. It was a crazy skit. But this, my friends, is serious. Because these are real sexual allegations, and these are deep allegations. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing cool about holding women against their will, you know what I'm saying, forcing them to do drugs and alcohol, perform sexual acts on you when you got them that way. This is rape. You know what I'm saying? And that's not cool. If that happened, now this is all alleged, you know, I mean, he's yet to be convicted. His last trial was 2008, and he was found not guilty. So I don't know what kind of lawyer he got or what kind of magic fairy dust he has on the court system, but it's working for him. But you know, the girl says that in 2017 they met. They had a relationship going, and that was ended in February. Matter of fact, from what I heard, it ended in February. Go figure. So in December is when I guess he infected her, and they were in Dallas. He was doing a show. She said he was doing a show in Dallas. He got her fucked up and did all type of fuck shit, and then he had unprotected sex with her and purposely gave her STD. She's filed a complaint, and they say that she's planning on filing a federal civil suit on R. Kelly. But she filed a complaint with the Dallas Police Department. So it should be up for, I should have went and looked that up just to see. I should have looked that up to see if that actually happened. But what she said is that what he does, he gets you fucked up. As he's doing this, he's forcing himself on you. He tells you to sign a contract. And then he tells you to offer him some serious information about your family members. So she's saying, and you know, when you hear this stuff, it's like, what? It almost sounds made up, but it kind of sounds like something a sick person would do. So he's getting you fucked up. He's basically raping you. He's implanting these ideas about whatever philosophy he has, you know, that he's, I guess, believes in. Then you have to sign a contract, and then you have to give up some dirt on your family members, all of them. So in case you go and tell on him, he can damage your family. I gotta hit this one. Good. Wow. That's deep. That's real deep. You know what I'm saying? They say that women are held in the studio and in the guest houses, and that, you know, they're saying, you know, he's not keeping them against their will like they're slaves, but it's that they basically got into a Stockholm syndrome. Go and look up Stockholm syndrome. Matter of fact, let me show you the definition of Stockholm syndrome. So that's what a person who is close to the R. Kelly camp and works with R. Kelly says. He's not keeping them against their will. He's just got them so beat down that they're in a Stockholm syndrome. They're basically zombies to him. They're sexual zombies at this point. So, if this is true, I'm done with R. Kelly's, allegations is one thing. I need the proof, you know what I mean? But I don't think I'll ever listen to R. Kelly again, you know what I mean, if that's the case, because that is sick. That's just sick. It's sick. It's nothing rock star about that. There's no hashtag that's fun for that, And I pray for these girls, too. If it is true, I pray that they're able to get their lives back on track, because that can damage you. You know what I'm saying? It's not just R. Kelly. This stuff happens all over the place. All over the place. So, my prayers are with everybody. I hope if that's the case, R. Kelly gets well, and these women are able to better their life as well. All right. One more thing I wanted to bring up that is actually on a lighter note is 50 Cent and Dr. Dre are co-executive producing Young Buck's new album. This is no lie. It has been confirmed that Dr. Dre and 50 Cent are executive producing Young Buck's album. I think his last album was 2010, his last studio album. So this is going to be his first studio album in 8 years. And you want to talk about a comeback. You got 50 Cent and Dr. Dre producing your shit. Or executive producing it, regardless. I don't care if they were just there in the studio. That's big, man. He's dropped a couple of nice mixtapes in between, too. So, shout out to Young Buck. You know what I mean? You know what it is. Shout out to Cuz, because he's been working. He's been working. So, I'm not mad at him. So that's some good news. I can't really wait to hear what it's going to sound like. I'm pretty sure it's going to be nice and dope. And shout out to Anderson .Paak. Dr. Dre is working real hard right now on producing Anderson .Paak's new album that's coming out too. And I fuck with Anderson .Paak a long way. If you haven't heard of him, it's Anderson, P-A-A-K. Go look him up. Listen to him, man. He's fine. I like that. I like what he got going on. So now that we're on this music band, what we're going to do is we're going to take a few moments for breaks. And before we come back, we're going to have me again, the other co-host of the show, which is me. Going to do something on Every Black Magic Live called Musical Surgery. And on Musical Surgery, we take certain albums that may have went below the radar or that you know very well, and I dissect the hell out of it. I get the research up, I tell you about the album, I tell you everything that you should know about that album. This episode, the first episode, I did not want to pull any punches. All my Prince stuff is coming. Please believe I got a whole nother special coming on Saturday for Prince. But I decided to do Marvin Gaye. A certain particular album he did that I think should get a little spotlight on Black Magic Live. Politics, we'll talk about politics a little bit, but not really. If you really want to hear about the politics in a deeper form, make sure you check out These Zaggins Do America on Instinct, brought to you by Instinct Radio, Candy Promotions. And that's from 8 to 10 every first and third Friday. Just tune in to that show. It gets very politically deep. That's what that show is about. It's political funny. So we are lightweight on the feelings, but we really do voice our opinions. You feel what I'm saying? So check that show out. That's where you're going to get a lot of. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about some fucking politics. Of course. I always do. All the time. But we'll get to that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? They don't deserve no major spotlight right now. I mean, hell. We're at war. Okay. We're going to talk about that later. But, yeah, so I hope y'all enjoying the show so far. Like I said, it's just a informative, kind of like a newscast, behind the scenes newscast to tell you about some certain things that's going on from all walks of life for all different reasons. And it's just brought to you in Black Magic's words. No crazy antics, no, just stripped down me and y'all having a conversation. I'm just, letting you know some things that I found out about. So we'll be back after these messages. You are watching Black Magic Live. I mean, the whole point of Rockstarlyfe is to show, that you can be different. You can be an individual. You can break through. You can be an underdog. As long as you're good at what you do, man, and you go outside of your own zone, your comfort zone, your own comfort zone to be who you want to be. That's what Rockstarlyfe is all about. That's what that show is all about. It's there to be that medium for you, your getaway from the real world, to let your mind be free, man, to be able to speak your opinions and voice who you are as a person. Not what you think society wants to hear or your timelines want to hear, but who you are as a person. Rockstarlyfe is that show. Me and my three brothers are there to just open up and break open the barrier to show you it's cool to be yourself, man. It's cool to, be different and rock out with your cock out, man. That's really what Rockstarlyfe is about. Yeah, man, we're gonna do something called musical surgery. You know what I'm saying? And right now, who I decided to do my musical surgery on is the one and only legendary Marvin Gaye. Some things that come to factor. You have Usher's Confessions. You have D'Angelo's Voodoo. You have Mary J's No More Drama. Or basically, no, My Life. I will give it to My Life. Well, these are albums that touched all the way to the core of the person. That they really dug into their souls to give you an inside view of what they were feeling at that time. Well, this one album is no different. Although it didn't get good in record sales, it went below the radar, but now it's considered a classic. It is Marvin Gaye's Hear My Dear. One of my personal favorites from Marvin Gaye. And I'm a Marvin Gaye head. He was 39 years old. He married Berry Gordy's sister, Anna Gordy. She was 17 years older than him. She was 41, he was 24. So I don't know if that was a good idea to be trying to marry the boss's sister, not knowing your future with that company. But I mean, that's Marvin Gaye. He took risks. But 12 years later, they wind up divorcing. And he had already had 2 outside kids within them 12 years. He had a, pretty bad cocaine habit. But back then, you think about the 70s, who didn't? His was just a little more publicized. But he was a cocaine addict. He really loved his cocaine. So, when they filed for divorce, she was going to file for $1 million divorce. So Marvin really didn't have that kind of money on hand just to give her $1 million because of the drug habits. He had some get rich quick schemes that he tried that didn't work out. So he was losing money. He was hemorrhaging money. So what happened was the lawyer came up with an idea to pay $305,000 in a balance plus the $295,000. The $305,000 was the advance. The $295,000 was the estimated profits, and then the royalties after that it said would equal up to $400,000. So that would have been $1 million for Anna Gordy. this is one of the wildest type of albums in musical history. Because it is for him, for that lawyer to come up with that idea was, first of all, that was out of this world. And the judge accepted it, and Marvin did too, and so did Anna. So there had never been a record deal that way. There had never been a settlement dealing with divorce, the record company, and the artist that way. That was legendary. Hasn't been done since. So for Motown, that was a weird move for them. So it was in '77 when he recorded it, and he set out to embarrass Berry Gordy. He set out to embarrass Anna, and humiliate her and hurt her. So he was going to do a mediocre album. He thought he was just going to do a bullshit ass album. Let me give her this on Marvin Gaye. They're going to buy it. Give her $1 million. Go on about this. But then in the process of recording that album, he got wrapped up in it. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to talk about your divorce or voice your pain on a breakup or heartache, and not get involved. You know, you can't nonchalantly do that. So, of course, he has feelings, he has memories, things of that nature. His heart was attached. So he became attached to the project to the point where he just was mentally focused on that project. So, you know what I'm saying? The link, he was trying to basically do a divorce for Motown and Anna. So his link between those two was Anna. And he was like, if I do this and divorce Anna, it takes me off of Motown because I done humiliated your sister and I know you're pissed, so you're going to drop me and I don't care. So that was his divorce on 2 settlements. Like, this album is way more legendary than people really give it the credit for. And this is from what I've been observing. When she heard the album, she sued him for $5 million. She sued Marvin for $5 million, saying it was an invasion of privacy. That lawsuit never festered to nothing. Because she decided, you know, after a while, she started listening to it. She appreciated the musical genius in it, and you know, it was just basically crazy because she was humiliated. She was very hurt by that album. She said it really hurt her because he dug into some topics and said some things about her that really kind of struck chords with her. And so, you know, he was ordered to pay $6,000 in child support, and he refused. He had no love for the government, the law, none of that. A lot of times on the album, even on Is That Enough, he kind of brought up how she was using the child against him, holding the kid like a ransom against him. This is in '77, y'all. This is in '77 with a major artist. Okay? The album is 73 minutes long. He has some songs like Is That Enough? He was talking about the child, and then he was talking about her spending habits. Like she was just balling out of control off of his budget, and he was just young, dumb, and naive. And even says in the song, like after he's asking like why he has to pay attorney fees for his woman, for his ex-wife too, why he got to pay hers too, he says, I need to smoke. And then the album just goes into that's like a smoking, deep thought moment. You Can Leave, but it's going to cost you, was him saying that, you know, he was talking about how she was holding him prisoner with her power and her money. And because he wanted this new girl that he met that was named Janice, who was a young girl, very young, I think she was like 17 or 18. And he fell in love with her. And he was basically saying, in order for me to have happiness, I gotta pay you. You know, if I want to be with her and be happy, I gotta wind up paying you to do it. You see what I'm saying? Then he had a song called Funky Space Reincarnation. It's an outer space, weed smoking, disco-ish song about space sex. Yeah, he did that. and the crazy thing was, that was his single. That was his single off the album. It didn't really fly. It kind of flopped because you got the Bee Gees and all these other folks out. Disco was hard back in 77, 78, 79. It was big. And so his effort to get into the disco with that, when it kind of fell below the radar, especially with all the controversy, concerning the album itself. But that was his single, you know what I'm saying? He married Janice in 1977. After they officially had their split up, they're officially legally split, then he wound up marrying Janice the same year. That was in 77. So while he was making that album, he was with his new love. And he actually had a song dedicated to her at the end called Falling in Love Again. While they were recording the album, as soon as they got married, he even said himself, he was like, it was just disaster from the moment they got married. And so with all facts aside from that album, Anger, which is a good song on there, where it says about it makes you sick, it destroys your soul, it makes you old, but he was speaking on how his anger gets the best of him sometimes. When did you stop loving me? When did I stop loving you? That was a question. He did those songs twice on the album. He did the original song, and then he did like a saxophone suite where it was just the backgrounds and the saxophone for the song with the same hook. And I guess he kept asking that because he needed clarity to that. So, with that all being said, I want to say that this album just hits home. It has been between D'Angelo's Voodoo and Here My Dear, I've, just like many other people, have went through some heartache, some real pain emotionally, felt betrayed, loved, gave, even messed up. This album, those two albums, especially Here My Dear, has been like a therapeutic thing for me personally. It is just, it does sum up pain. You see what I'm saying? And it sums up pain. And I can understand where Marvin was going. He was pissed. He didn't want to give her no money. He did the album. I'm going to give her a dumbass album. Then she going to get her little money. And then he started as remembering the times, the good times, the bad times, and the in between, her faults, his faults. It kind of became, he became engulfed in it. I think it peaked at like 26 on the charts when it came out. Unheard of for Marvin Gaye. That is like low of low for a full album. It was too advanced. It was too honest. It was brutally honest. And, I don't think people were ready for that in 77. It just said, 79. I don't think that they were ready for that. It was over their heads. And so it was considered a flop. It was Motown's weirdest album ever. As far as concept albums, that was the weirdest for Motown. A lot of rappers have sampled from that album. A lot of rappers have sampled from that one album, Here My Dear. It is now considered in one of the top 100 greatest albums of all time, which shows you could do some things. Like he said on Funky Space Reincarnation, he started off the song, he said light years. That was what that album was. It was light years ahead of people. They couldn't understand it at first. That pain, that hurt, and being that brutally honest. So I do understand that album. To this day, I listen to that album religiously. Because when you do get to think about past relationships, period, not just your last one, but the one before that one or the one before that, it still strikes up memories when you hear that album of things you went through. And sometimes when you don't have anyone to talk to or a way to express it, that album is a great way of expressing it for you. A great Smokers album, 420, great Smokers album. If you're going through it, if you're not going through it, it's still a Marvin Gaye classic. It was a classic. You know what I'm saying? And so this is my song, my album dissection of Marvin Gaye's Here My Dear, album I hold close to my heart. And, I'm hoping that you're enjoying Black Magic Live, and we're going to go back to my other me, Black Magic. Signing off, smoke on, 420. Yes, sir. All right, so we're back. Welcome back to Black Magic Live. I'm your host, Black Magic. Magic Leaks, Mr. Leaks, Damien's Black Magic, I go on for days about these names. But it's me, Rockstar. It's me. I'm here. So yeah, I shout out to myself for that nice dissection of Marvin Gaye's "Hear My Dear." A dope album for all kinds of reasons. Dope ass album. Now, let's talk about my guy, since we're talking about Marvin Gaye. Let's talk about Prince. So from what I heard, from what I read, the family, together over Prince's estate, have decided to band together. And it's a crazy situation. They had estimated Prince's estate at $200 million when he died. So the estate, the heirs, they're at odds. Excuse me, with Commercial Bank and Trust. I guess that's who's handling the deeds to everything that's going on. And they're saying they're unable to split the money with the family and banks and the IRS. The banks and the IRS can determine the worth. The bank and the lawyers have already made $5.9 million in fees off of Prince's death alone. They made $5.9 million off of that. Not to mention the $2.5 million that was just for the bank and the bank's lawyers. So everybody in total has made 5.9 plus 2.9 just for the bank and the bank's lawyers. Wow. And then we're not even going to talk about the family lawyer fees. We're not going to talk about Spotify fees. And we're going to get into that Spotify thing because, so Spotify, that's where you can get the Prince music now. They have the rights to that music. They haven't got paid for their stuff either. And they're saying like the family might get the least of the actual estate. You see what I'm saying? And that's bad. The judge saying that the estate is not an unlimited resource. So basically, the judge is getting a little upset, like y'all are using his estate like it's just a free-for-all ATM. And they're saying, well, we need our money for this, we need our money for that, we need, and the judge is like, no, we got to put a stop to that. So the state of Minnesota and the federal government are still entitled to half of Prince's estate. So it's $200 million that they're saying now. You got basically $8 million of it gone. Then the IRS and the bank still want to get their fees straight. Then the family has to do their lawyer fees. Then Spotify has to get their fees. And then the federal government is still going to get half of it. Seems like with the IRS and the federal government, they're getting paid twice. And it's just sad that this has been such a long ordeal. It's very sad. It's heartbreaking to me because it's just a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? And the family's going through it. They're mad at each other, and the government is getting involved. And to show you how much power Prince had. Show you the power Prince had. Most people die and they try something, they figure out something. People settle out, whatever. But this is getting 2 years. This has been 2 years after this man's death. So, I'm hoping that the family members do get something. They are family. And I just hope the madness ceases and y'all get back to giving him some props that he deserves. Because I haven't really seen as many props for Prince as he has deserved. Or Michael Jackson either. But I have not seen these dedications that need to be happening for the Purple Man himself, Mr. Prince. A side note about that is Jay-Z, the Rock Nation, is being sued as well by the Prince estate. Because if y'all remember, Prince, before he died, took all his musical title. they're saying now because he moved it and went to Spotify that Rock Nation and Tidal are, they have some copyright violations that they need to correct. They only had the rights to stream it. And I think what they're doing is like selling some things and some stuff like that. So, you know, I think they're being sued as well for that. So it has been a big mess, you know, and I really wish I would have let the man die in peace. It's bad enough he messed up his name with the opioid bullshit that you sold. And then now you got the family all in this legal battle. You bring in other rappers and stuff. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I hope it does get resolved. Prince said a lot of his music against the government and record labels. So who knows? This could be a get back. Or this could be a sign. I mean, life's so crazy nowadays, man. We have to sit back and watch and see what happens, man. I mean, we can only sit back and just pray for the best. All right. So I thank y'all for staying tuned in with me. We're gonna go to another commercial break and then we'll be right back. And got a couple of more interesting things to talk about. So just stay tuned in with me, you know, your host, Black Magic, and you watching Black Magic Live. I mean, the whole point of Rockstarlyfe is to show, you know, that you can be different. You can be an individual. You know, you can break through. You can be an underdog. As long as you're good at what you do, man, and you go outside of your own zone, your comfort zone, your own comfort zone to be who you want to be. That's what Rockstarlyfe is all about. That's what that show is all about. It's there to be that medium for you, your getaway from the real world, to let your mind be free, man, to be able to speak your opinions and voice who you are as a person, not what you think society wants to hear or your timelines want to hear, but who you are as a person. You know, Rockstarlyfe, that show, me and my three brothers are there to just open up and break open the barrier to show you it's cool to be yourself, man. It's cool to, you know, be different and rock out with your cock out, man. That's really what Rockstarlyfe is about. Welcome back. You tuned in to Black Magic Live. I'm your host, Black Magic. Like I said, this is the first episode, and it's just basically a pilot, and you know, just putting something together, kind of like on a news tip, with just me and y'all one-on-one, and you know, without all the wildness and stuff, and just really talk about some interesting topics, man, and get one-on-one, and you know, bring some things to light that maybe you didn't know were coming out to light, man. You know. Now, Colin Kaepernick and the Seattle Seahawks. We talked about this Saturday on the Rockstarlyfe show too. He was supposed to be going over there. The Seattle Seahawks was going over there to, you know, talk to Colin, see what's going on. Let's try to get you on the team, which would have been a good look. You know what I'm saying? To have two running quarterbacks. And one that's pretty much ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to Seattle for that vision, but then they lost my respect because now they're kind of like not wanting to sign him because he will not address if he'll stop kneeling. This has become a redundant subject that has just not died. And it's confusing because you have orange hair fucker 44 sitting here telling people to, you know, boycott the NFL and this, that, and the third. And then, you know, you get up in the higher offices and the actual NFL is boycotting the black players. And it's an epidemic. It just shows just how bad the racist element is in this country. It's worse than people think. You know what I'm saying? And to the point where someone like Colin Kaepernick, who all he did, he wasn't accused of taking drugs, he didn't assault no woman, none of that. He took a knee to take a stance for something he believed in that a lot of Americans, even white Americans, believe in. And ever since he's done that, He's basically been banished from the NFL. Like he's getting no love from any teams for any reason, you know. And it's been like 2 years, I think. It's been like two years. It's been like 2 years. So, you know, the racism, I want to kind of like with this show bring out the melee that people don't understand is going on right up under your nose. It's a lot of melee going on. So, you know, keep your eyes open. Stay woke, you know. Hopefully Colin gets him a job somewhere. He's needed. Lord knows Atlanta Falcons need him. But when Colin gets, you know, some justice, finally, from that situation. Speaking of football, Dez Bryant, released from the Cowboys. Cowboys, I like you. When y'all start getting rid of your key players, I like you. But they got rid of Dez Bryant, okay? So, from what's being told, Dez Bryant has a real dynamite personality, and that's not a good thing. He's actually, like, has a dynamite, like he explodes. The passion that he has on the field, they say he takes it off the field. He's gotten into it with a lot of players and coaches, and they're just saying that he's having a bad attitude about things, like real bad attitude, and he's like very, very hard to deal with. They're also saying in the front office that, you know, he was supposed to be a promising player for the Dallas Cowboys, but they're saying with Dak there, he's not doing his job. You know, they're saying he's not doing what he's supposed to do to keep up with Dak and to make sure Dak, you know, can be able to spread out his plays. So they were saying that because of that, they're letting him go. You know, because then they're saying with that attitude, coupled with that attitude, and Dak has a more mild-mannered attitude, don't mean he's a punk. I believe Dak will punch your ass and put your ass in a coma. But he's not about that business. He's there to play football. But they're like, Dez is just like really on some other shit. So, how does this work? Well, from what I was told, Dez Bryant has said no to what the Browns have said. Cleveland Browns has said no. They don't want Dez Bryant. He said Green Bay doesn't feel right. Yeah, they're big rivals, so I wouldn't see you going over to your rivals. But the Baltimore Ravens are interested in Dez Bryant. That's right, you heard me, people. Baltimore Ravens. So, which the Ravens need them a key player right now. They need somebody, even if they're like a Dez Bryant. Maybe Dez will go over there and get his second win. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't even re-sign him with a reduced contract. They just let him go. Like, and this didn't come from the coach and the staff, y'all. This came from Jerry Jones. They said when that meeting was over, he went downstairs in the locker room and went in on people. Like, they said he went all the way in. So, you know, hopefully Dez gets placed. Sometimes your anger, man, can keep you out of some shit, your attitude, man. So, you know, maybe he's learning from that. Maybe other players see that, they have that streak. They know not to do that. But Dez, you're fucking up your money. You heard. All right, so now for my final story. This is crazy. Acapulco, Mexico. There's a dead man found on the beach, full of bullets. Here's some statistics about Acapulco, Mexico. Just wanted to leave this on your brain before we got out of here. It's 25,000 murders last year alone due to drugs and gangs in Acapulco. Well, just in Mexico. Okay? Now, Acapulco is also home to opium, the opioid plant, which is used to make heroin. Shows you why there's cartel issues out there and gang violence and just violence whatsoever. It's all kind of violence. So the locals who work there, where the tourists are at, now all carry pistols because they're scared because there's so much crime and death right now in Acapulco, Mexico. All right? 12 people are killed a day. And they said that this is the worst crime in Acapulco in a decade. Okay? 12 people killed a day. That's a lot of motherfuckers. Oh, that's a lot of killing, a lot of bullets. In January 2016, a man swam upshore, shot a vendor, then jumped on a jet ski and skated off into the fucking wind. And they called this an execution. There has been 4 executions. All of the killers have gotten away scot-free. Never been caught. This is Mexico, people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, okay, so the former president of Acapulco is asking the judicial system out there, the political system out there, to legalize it. He's saying opium is not a bad plant. People are doing bad things with it. They're doing evil things with it. And if you lock up, if you make it legal, make all these drugs legal, you cripple the cartel and you cut down on violence. I don't know what's going on here, because lately the most unlikely things have become legalized, and the most likely things to be legalized are becoming illegal. So it's like, I don't know what's going on. Legalize weed. That's pretty much all I can tell you. Legalize weed. We need weed. We need weed. Boy, do we need weed. So, just some interesting facts that I read on this paper about Acapulco. So, that'll be about it for my show. I hope y'all liked it. It was, you know, a little more calmer. But I had fun, you know, giving you some things that you might not have known about. And yes, with Black Magic Live, I'm going to let you know you will be seeing all kind of tad bit type of little shows, little small inside shows, little small this, that, and that, brought to you by Rockstarlyfe and Leaks Entertainment, who are now bringing you Black Magic Live. So Black Magic Live will have lots of little small things you might see throughout the week on your social media. Be sure to check it out on YouTube, under my YouTube channel, Rockstarlyfe. Make sure you be able to check the show out on YouTube under Rockstarlyfe with a Y. Make sure you're tuned in on my page. If not, go to instinctradio.net. But every second and fourth Saturday, that's the Rockstarlyfe TV show. And every first and third Friday, that's these niggas do America, or what we call it, these Zaggins do America. Every first and third Friday from 8 to 10. That's going to also be on instinctradio.net or my page. And the Rockstarlyfe show that I was speaking about on every second and fourth Saturday, that's from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. And Black Magic Live shows up whenever it shows up. I don't really have an actual day and time set for it, but I just figure whenever I got good information, why not? And in between the weeks, you know, if something else needs to be added, we'll make something happen for that. Shout out to all of y'all who tuned in. Cookie, Davon, Darius, Daddy love you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Team Leaks. And again, I'm glad that you tuned in. Happy 420 to you. And, you know, I'll be seeing y'all soon. This is your first edition of Black Magic Live. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, rock out with your cock out.